The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Welcome back to the Neural Left, the only podcast where the vibes are rancid and the simulation is clearly running on a potato. It's Sunday, February 8th, 2026, and if you're still listening, honestly, you're real for that. I'm Maya Torn, currently clocking 15 hours of screen time because the timeline is literally a jump scare today.
And I'm John Steele, coming to you from the sanctuary, where I'm currently staring at a leak in my roof and wondering if the universe is trying to tell me something about the state of American infrastructure. Okay, yesterday we were talking about the Schedule F purge and that honestly horrifying AI video of the Obamas. But today, it feels like the wheels aren't just coming off, they're being sold for parts.
No, literally. It's giving final season of a show that got canceled, but they still have to finish the episodes. We've got a busy lineup today. Everything from the actual sewage in the Potomac to the MAGA Barbz era. But we have to start with the collapse of the Washington Post. John, I know this one hit you hard in your legacy media feels.
It didn't just hit me, it buried me. Here's the thing. Washington Post CEO Will Levis is out, resigned Saturday, and he did it right after overseeing what the newsroom is calling a bloodbath. 300 journalists, 1/3 of the newsroom, just deleted via a Zoom call.
Zoom call? Shut up. That is high-key the most NPC way to fire people in 2026. It's so corporate-slop coded.
It's worse than that. According to The Guardian, the employees got emails with subject lines that just said eliminated or not eliminated. It's like Squid Game for Pulitzer Prize winners. And Lewis's exit memo, Maya, it was incredible. He thanked Jeff Bezos for being the better owner, whatever that means, while completely ignoring the people whose lives he just blew up.
Okay, but John, here's the thing. Why do we even care? Like, no cap, the Post has been in its flop era for years. It's basically a billionaire's tax write-off with a paywall.
Come on.
No, listen, the only people who care about the Post are over 50 and live in D.C. The real reporting is happening on independent platforms anyway. Why are we mourning an institution that was already a husk of itself?
But because institutions have weight. Look, I know you think everything is a TikTok thread, but when you delete the sports desk and the books desk, which they did, you aren't just cutting content, you're cutting the connective tissue of a community. Who's going to investigate the stadium deals? Who's going to tell you the book you're reading is historical revisionist garbage?
I mean, people on the internet,
people on the internet don't have a legal team. They don't have the resources to fight a 3-year FOIA battle. When you lose the institutional weight of the Post, you're just left with creator-led vibes, and vibes don't win court cases against the Department of Justice.
Okay, I hear you. But the Post was barely doing that anyway. It was already being curated by Bezos' interests. To me, this just looks like the inevitable collapse of a middleman who wasn't serving anyone but the elite. If the system is broken, let it burn so something new can grow.
But nothing is growing. It's just scorched earth. And while the media is burning, literally everything else is failing too. Did you see the news about the Potomac?
High-key disgusting. So while everyone is arguing about journalism, the actual plumbing of the Capitol is failing. There was a massive failure at the Blue Plains treatment plant. Millions of gallons of raw sewage just dumping into the Potomac River.
Right in D.C.'s backyard. It's poetic, isn't it? The EPA's polluter enforcement has basically collapsed under this administration. According to Inside Climate News, they're moving to self-auditing for corporations, which is basically just the honor system for people who have no honor.
It's the self-report era. It's like asking a streamer if they're using aimbots. Of course they're going to say no cap while they're headshotting the environment from across the map.
Exactly. And then you have the marine canyons. Friday, Trump signed an executive order reopening the Northeast Canyons and Seamounts Marine National Monument to commercial fishing. This is a place with rare deep-sea corals that take hundreds of years to grow, and he's just opening the gates.
He called them objects of interest, like they're items in a video game loot box. It's so dehumanizing to the actual planet. But wait, we have to talk about the weirdest political pivot of the week. John, did you see the MAGA Barbz news?
I saw it, and I've been trying to unsee it.
Nicki Minaj is fully in her trad wife political surrogate era. She did this interview with Katie Miller, yes, Stephen Miller's wife, and basically said she was pushed into her political calling by bullying. She told her followers that any Christian who votes Democrat is a fool. And then she posted a photo of a gold Trump card she got from the president.
Look, I don't care about the music, but this is part of a larger realignment. It's not just celebrity drama, it's a strategy to peel off young voters by making the GOP look counterculture and making the Democrats look like the cringe establishment.
No, literally, she's telling the LGBTQ community to stop giving Democrats the gay vote by default. It's working, John. MAGA Barbz was trending for 12 hours. People are looking for a main character to follow, and Nicki is serving that on a gold-plated platter.
It's a distraction. God. It's a neon light to keep you from looking at the Thailand elections or the Virginia redistricting battle. In Virginia, a court just blocked the redistricting amendment because they messed up the special session procedures. It's this constant legal grinding where nothing can actually be built because everything is a procedural war.
Well, speaking of wars, we need to talk about what's happening on the ground here. John, the ICE stuff is getting actually terrifying.
This is the story of the week. It's Operation Country Roads, and it's the blueprint for what's coming to the rest of the country.
Okay, so in West Virginia, they just finished a 2-week surge, 650 arrests. ICE is claiming they're getting violent criminals, but according to WV News, the majority of those people had zero violent history. They were just people living their lives.
And they're doing it with administrative warrants. Let's be clear about what that is. It's a piece of paper signed by an ICE officer, not a judge, no judicial oversight, just a guy in a tactical vest decided you're a target.
It's the One Big Beautiful Bill Act in action. $170 billion for enforcement. They're hiring 12,000 new agents. John, they're giving 18-year-olds $50,000 signing bonuses to join ICE? 18? You can't even buy a beer, but you can get a badge and $50K to hunt your neighbors?
It's child soldier energy with a federal pension. If you give a teenager a pile of money at a target, what do you think is going to happen? It's a bounty system, and we're seeing the results in Minneapolis right now.
This is the main story, and honestly, it's the most black-pilled I've been in a while. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is currently refusing to resign after federal agents killed 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
U.S. citizens, let's repeat that, because the administration is trying very hard to make you forget it.
No, literally, they tried to frame Alex Preddy as a terrorist who was planning a massacre. That was the official line from the DHS. But then the bystander video dropped, and it's a total cap.
The video shows he was unarmed, shot in the back, and then an agent removes his legal weapon from his waistband after he's already down. It's an execution. There's no other word for it.
And Noem is still there. Ilhan Omar and Elizabeth Warren are calling Minneapolis an occupied city, and they aren't wrong. There are reports of blood quotas where agents are being pressured to hit numbers to justify the $170 billion spend. If you don't hit your arrest and neutralization targets, you don't look like a high performer.
It's the corporatization of death. It's what happens when you treat law enforcement like a sales floor. Look, we talk a lot about systems on this show, but we need to talk about labor. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of Eric Christensen.
Right?
He's not a media conglomerate. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations.
Low-key, we wouldn't be here without him. And given what just happened at the Washington Post, independent media is literally the only thing left.
It's the only thing left that isn't a sponsored post for the apocalypse.
No, literally. But John, we have to talk about the DHS purge that's happening simultaneously. While they're shooting people in Minneapolis, they're firing anyone inside the agency who tries to talk about it.
They fired a senior official at CBP for leaking sensitive information, but sensitive information is usually just the truth when it's inconvenient for the person in charge. There's an 8,000% spike in threats against agents, and the administration's response is to double down on the aggression.
It's a feedback loop. They act like an occupying force, people get angry, the agents feel threatened, they get more aggressive, and then they fire anyone who says, hey, maybe this is a bad idea. It's a death spiral for the rule of law.
And then you have Ron DeSantis, who just got the all clear from the DOJ. They shuttered the investigation into his foundation. Critics are calling it proof of a politicized Justice Department. And honestly, how can you see it any other way?
It's the get-out-of-jail-free card for the inner circle, while the rest of us are playing on hard mode.
Well, hard mode is an understatement. It's more like survival horror. You look at Thailand today, where 53 million people are voting to see if they can escape a military-drafted constitution. And then you look at West Virginia, where the military-style equipment is being used against people whose only crime was wanting a better life. It's the same struggle everywhere.
No, literally, the global flop era is just one big mirror, but we're the ones forced to stare into it.
Okay, I think that's all I can handle for one Sunday. Mitch the goat is staring at me through the window, and I'm pretty sure he's judging my ability to keep this house from falling apart.
Mitch is a real one. He knows the vibes are off.
He does. He really does. Look, we'll be back tomorrow. Probably with more news about how the Potomac is now 50% sewage and 50% sponsored content. But until then, stay safe.
Bet. Stay online, but don't let it consume you. Follow the MAGA Barbz drama if you need a laugh, but don't forget the people in Minneapolis. They're the ones paying the real price for the simulation.
Well said. Catch you tomorrow. Mitch, get away from the Starlink dish. If I go offline, you'll know why.